Okay. Oh, okay, awesome. I'm happy you're here. Happy June, friends. We're already in June 2023. That is just crazy. Halfway. We're almost at summer equinox. Summer solstice, not equinox, solstice. So there we go. All this good stuff. And I'm happy. Okay, so this is my plan for class today, is that we've been doing this restorative dive. And you have been practicing with me for a long time. No, we have never done, right, that many restorative classes in a row in all the history of it. We haven't. So that was 3. And I'm noticing, even though it's something that I do for myself every day, I do restorative poses, will sneak in every day. But I don't know, something magical is afoot. So I'm just going to keep exploring that. And today we're going to do some twists. And I thought, yeah, okay, great. That's it. This is a great encouragement for you, silent. We don't even need to use words, right? Okay. So let's center. We'll Om. We'll sit for like a few moments of silence afterwards. And then my intention is to do tennis ball under the foot after that, or maybe we do it right now, and then we can just keep all that nice. Let's do it before we even. This is what it's about. It's an evolving thing. I want to offer a different way of doing it today. If you can sit and rub your foot, but you can also just stepping on tennis ball, all good. But here's one thing I've been playing with is, when we stand on a block, what happens is the other hip flexor kind of gets to hang, and you can hold the wall. So I'm stepping on the block, and then I'll just lightly, okay, so I'll just pause here, and if you want to follow along, and you can hold the wall. And there is like that, I gotta work, can't let the hip drop too much. I've got to center and balance my hips even in this unevenness. Okay. And then once you're here, we'll just lightly roll the ball under your foot. So the hips are balancing. They're sneaking in a little bit of strengthening in the abdominals, which we're going to twist today. So there we go. Draw in like you're supporting yourself. Okay, then I'm going to just place the ball and slowly bend. This is my left leg. Bend the left knee, press into the ball, and then press into the left foot to bring yourself back up. And you'll move the ball. You can hang out, of course, explore, but it's feeling like the lifting is coming from the leg on the block. Okay, so now this is it. I'm just going to continue doing this, moving the ball around. And of course, you can always modify for yourself. Okay. Yes. So I'm moving a little quicker pace, but still really focusing on the left leg, doing the lifting, and the belly is also helping. And I can hips in all this stuff. We can engage the core in some way. Good. Okay. Now I'm just going to drop the weight. The ball is in the center of the arch, and I'm just going to allow the foot to be heavy. Maybe I'll start to play with lifting the toes, which always brings some tightness into play. And also moving the foot from heel to toe, and whatever you're doing, just be in that. Good. Okay, now for those of you who want to just take another moment of play and balance on the block, I'm going to move it into tree pose. So I'm just going to find the lift, and you can hold on to the wall, it's all fine. And then you might just like move the foot a little bit, see where it goes, and where it stops. So you find your balance. And sometimes when we have a block, the brain works a little differently, and you might even find your balance is more present than you thought it would be. Ooh, I lose mine. Okay, I'm gonna take one more moment, just settle back in, and then once you're done, you stand off the block and pause to feel. So just release your arms, maybe close your eyes. And, Just feel the energetics awakening. Good. Okay, and then we'll do the second side. So block, ball, wall if you like. I'm just taking my socks off, but it's totally fine to do this with your socks on, of course. And once you're here, you just play with the balancing and moving the ball or no block. All good things happen. Good. Okay. I'm just going to start with the lifting and the lowering. Or almost, you might even notice, because you're focusing, you're breathing, you're doing what you're doing, that your own might feel more powerful. Something to look forward to. Okay, and then you're doing your thing, but if you're following along and put the ball under the arch, allowing the weight to drop and play a little bit with the toes, lifting, and gently moving the foot. That's it. So from here, you either hang out on your ball or move to your mountain pose or take your tree pose, mountain on a tree or tree on a mountain. And engaging the foot into the block. I've lifted my arms in the air and the belly's in, the sides of the waist are in, so lengthening and, from head to tail. And take 2 more breaths if I can stay here. Okay, when it's done, it's done. And then we just stand and bask in the inner energetics. One thing that's come to my mind with this restorative deep dive we're doing together is that the essence of the work in as opposed to the workout. That there's work to be done even when you're not doing much or you feel like you're not, but that's where the work begins. And then, letting go. I'm just going to sit now to own. Yes, I think we're going to do that. So sit in any way you like, and then just drop into your state of, inner sensations. Because we did do a little bit of, not much, but a little movement. Take one hand to your heart space and see if you can tune into your heartbeat. Inviting the sensations, the eyes, the ears, the tongue, everything to begin to soften. Bowing your chin to yourself. Okay. As you inhale, anchor, lengthen yourself tall. On the exhale, you can bring the other hand to meet this one or bring the palms together, wherever you prefer. And we'll Om 3 times. Inhale.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
And releasing.
I'm sorry.
All right, we're gonna come to lie on our backs. And, this is what I'm thinking too, because we are gonna twist. So if you're, I don't know if you guys are on a floor or carpet, I'm gonna put a blanket down so that when I take my knees over, it feels really nice. So I'm gonna open up one and I'll have another one here for the head. And then we will have our bolster, our blocks, maybe, even pillow, dog bed, just whatever you're gonna need to drop your knees into this lying down twist. Okay. And then your heating pads and your sweaters and whatever you need to be cozy. Oh, yeah, okay, bolster, let's. Maybe you're down already, but if you're not, let's just tuck that bolster between your hips and your heels. And maybe so we know where it is. Good. Yes, okay, this is the setup, so. Lying on your back. Something under your head, I can feel my breathing's changing already. So, like the universe acknowledging, yes. This is where you need to be right now. Okay. So we just placed that bolster between your hips and your heels. And I'm taking the elbows out. I'm just going to rest the hands on the body here. And feeling yourself sink for a moment. Here's just a fun thing here's just a Johanna thing. I don't think you're gonna find this in any textbook or anything, or a yoga book or anywhere, maybe in the future. Leave your hands resting on your abdomen somewhere. Okay, and then walk your hands up and find your xiphoid process, and that's like where the ribs join, right where the ribs join. Just find that. And just press it, just lightly make contact here. Here's where the diaphragm lives. So just, equating or acknowledging this space. Sun center, your solar center at the core, in the place of power. There's no, you can walk your hands down your ribs and find the small of your waist, and it should be squishy and soft, like there's no bones protecting the small of the waist. A lot of tissue. And then walk your hands to your navel. And almost like feel this triangle from navel to hips to xiphoid process. And just trace that a few times. Just this triangle. So from navel, hip bones, and up to xiphoid process. And then bring your hands back for a moment. Your soft, sometimes I describe this as your soft, creamy center. It's places made for rotation, separation of the upper half of your body and the lower half. Now there is a downward triangle too, and it's going to be right at the top of the pubic bone, the tip of it. So you could even, your hands at the navel, fingers at the navel, just trace to the hip bones and then down to the top of the pubic bone. And just make yourself acquainted with that. Look at that. 2 triangles. The Star of David, an upward triangle and a downward triangle, and masculine and feminine. There it is, right there in your sacred geometry. And okay, and after you trace that a little bit, then now there's a diamond here for the whole core of the body. But there's also a heart. And so if you take your index fingers and you lay them, between the xiphoid process and the navel, and then you draw a heart, and you can maybe find it, and maybe it goes to the pubic bone, maybe it goes To the navel, and maybe it goes into the in-between space. Navel and be with over. Just trace a love heart on your body here. Just feel it in the soft, creamy center of you. And as you fill this, you draw this love, symbol of love, the heart shape. Allowing the breath to be here too, just this filling this very sacred part of you. Everything contained here necessary, or sometimes not necessary. But there it is, you're born with it, whether you have it or not, it's this place. Okay, and then let your hands rest. We're gonna place the feet on the bolster, and we're gonna start with a windshield wiper. So you might move the bolster down, it's portable, and your hands can stay on your creamy center and slide around as you move side to side. And we have this, lift of the feet gives us a little bit of an extra place to maybe lift the opposite hip. Being just waking up, feeling the rotation happening here, and diaphragm breathing here. All the love you're sending in here. Okay. And then just come to rest for a moment. You could keep feet on bolster. We're just going to turn the toes in, heels out, bring the knees together. Good. Okay. And then from here, friends, we'll move into our first twist. And so I'm just going to move this bolster over to the right side. I might use it, might not. And then if you want to hug your knees into your chest for a few moments, you can rock a little bit. You'll eventually come to rest with the right, the knees and everything over to the right. Your arms might open up to the sides. Good. And then we'll make adjustments once you're here. So you might press that right elbow down, let the shoulder twist deeper if you wish. You might throw some props into any parts of you that need extra support. And then if you would like to, just as we settle in, a blanket, you want to cover yourself. I didn't prepare well for that, but hopefully you did. And you take your right hand, if you like, just rest it on your belly area here. And here's the thing with these two centers is that you have your solar plexus at the top. That's your power center. So you need to tap into some energy or power. You might lay your hand in the upper triangle. And below the navel is your first three chakras, the grounding, the water. So I guess the fire is up a little higher. It's just this is the place of security, insecurity, anxiety, even joy lives here. Grounding. So you would choose to rest your hand in either center or in the center of the center. Just rest here and let the pose unfold. Drawing with the senses, softening your jaw and your tongue with the sense of taste. Drawing the sense of hearing, feeling into the inner ears. Can you let them soften? Listening more to the sound of your breath. Sense of sight. And withdrawing the outer sight into the insight. And the sense of smell. And softening the nostrils. Softening in your mind's eye the tip of your nose. Your cheeks. And everything into that sacred center. What's happening there? The flow of the breath. The releasing of any tension. Here for another few minutes. If you want to change the twist, so just for myself, I'm going to extend the left leg, or you can keep it bent and just take it off the bolster. Oh, well, that's the right leg. Sorry, right leg is coming off the bolster, and the left leg is going to rest. And just deepening the twist a little bit, and then coming right back. Softening any place you're still holding. Maybe with a deep exhale. Just very gently making your way out. So if you turn the head, you might start just turning the head all the way to the right. Taking your time. So maybe one movement and then you rest. As you feel ready, roll onto your back. And welcome to just rest here. If you want to have the knees in, you can do that too, and gently rock. You know, windshield wiper, anything. There was the intern. You use the bolster, you can just roll it over your body to the other side. You know what to do, so bring yourself in as you're ready. And again, if you want to hug the knees in to make that way in, do that and just drop them over. Take the first few moments to set up whatever is beneficial. More support underneath the right shoulder or a deeper twist through the chest towards the right side. I didn't say this on the other side, but wiggle your shoulders a little bit. Sometimes that also helps to release something or set you in. You do that for the hips too, give them a little wiggle. And then I'm going to take the left hand and lay it on the belly. Mindfully aware of where I'm placing it, what I'm inviting in today. Grounding, energizing energy, or right in the center. Your healing touch. On days when you have anxiety, you're feeling anxious, you lay your hands on your low belly, a weight there. Sometimes that's just the place of connection that helps you to connect to your inner power, to heal and to claim, to soothe yourself. Like a baby knows how to soothe itself, maybe not always. And they get a little older and they adapt. Oh, if I suck my thumb and you rub your ear, these little habits. Maybe you know what your little habit was. And softening all the senses inwards, softening your throat, the back of your heart. Allowing this twist to unfold. It is the undoing, the opposite of doing. It is the work in releasing it out. And you can stay as you are, or change your twist shape, deepen it in some way. If you've gone too deep, just give yourself permission to do less. Something our generation was never taught, do less. It's okay, and it's truly important. And they say our ancient ancestors, hunting and gathering tribes, rested about 80% of their days. I don't know that. I read that. It sounds good to me. Probably not for women. In honor of your ancestors, and release yourself as much as you possibly can this moment. And then again, it's a really slow exit. Maybe the head going to turn all the way to the left for a few moments. And then inviting in each step. So wherever you go next, you pause. Eventually, the body says, oh, yeah, you're ready, go on to your back. And then you'll take your minute of rest, however you want to do that. Feel like I'm going to take a happy baby this time. Then it's going to move me up a little higher into the creamy center, right in the center of the solar plexus, maybe. All is good. The windshield wiping, hugging the knees in, and even simply extending your legs. So for our next twist, friends, I'm going to bring the bolster underneath the sacrum. So this is going to be a deeper, different twist. Let me just see what feels good. So, if you're still watching me, or you don't even need to watch me, I'm going to find the words. I'm sitting on the tush is on the bolster. Anyway, that feels okay. Could be up a little higher or lower. And my knees are bent, feet on the floor, and the hands are resting on that in the diamond somewhere there. You even have your index fingers, just barely touching at the center line, and then extending thumb and pinky away from each other. So they're almost creating that diamond shape. Wrists are probably resting somewhere along the soft center of your waist or anywhere. Okay, so I'm going to start by taking the left foot and heel toeing it to the left a little bit, just a little bit. Now you're going to take your right foot and heel toe it all the way towards close to the left foot, don't have to go all the way, and then start to drop the right knee out. Then we're going to take the left foot and it might hop on top of the right foot as you lift the left hip. And then the left knee, it might come in closer to you for the twist. You might put the foot on the floor and you might be like, oh, that's not great. Okay, so that's number one. If that's not great, that's what I'm going to suggest. We walk both feet over to the left. We pick the hips up and the hips go all the way to the left side of the bolster. And then the knees will come to rest on the bolster. So, or the thighs, maybe probably not the knees, but you supported a lot of you. So we're bringing the twist up a little bit. So, okay. So there's number 2 or 1. You put the hips all the way over to the left side and then you find a twist for yourself here. So we're also bringing in a little bit of gravity. Hips are lifted a little bit. Okay, for the first one. Hips are center and drop the right knee out and then take the left leg. Okay, and then adjusting, maybe wiggling your shoulders if you need to, or lifting the right shoulder. And I know you're going to take the first few moments, generally maybe discomfort. See if you can drop into it or if you need to shift. It's going to find a way to twist with the hips lifted. So if you need to put more support, you throw it in. Not obviously, that was not the word I was going to say. Always was the word I was going to say, is you throw the props in, support yourself. Now, the head might not turn as much as it did before. That's good and great. Just let it drop to the left. Bringing everything inwards. And I hope you have a little bit of discomfort here because that is the place to come in. The body releases and it's working inwards, keenly aware of what's happening. Is there space to soften and open? and keenly feel deep inside you these little inner shifts happening. Space is being created as tension is leaving the body. In this different shape of the twist, a little bit of crunchiness. Imagining the lake of your breath and that part of you that's more open, not supported so strongly by bones. Bathing yourself with each breath here. To what we know is our core center spot, our center place of integration and supporting upper and lower. You will slowly start to come out. It's going to turn the head to the right, and then same instruction. And take your time. Every step is maybe just that step, and slowly come out. There's a lot that happens there too. So just want to honor all that has happened, and you can rest with your hips on the bolster if you want to take them off. You want to hug your knees and you want to windshield wiper. You choose. You want to just integrate all of that for a moment or two. Second side always a little easier because you've done it already once. So once you're ready, either you shift your hips all the way to the right and then drop the knees over, or you keep the hips in the center. You bring the left into the floor and let the hips move. So then the right leg comes over. The big twist. Make it your own. Make it less. Make it a place of where you can feel something. Be comfortable as the first twist. But if there's no pain, you can know you can be here at the time. Okay, so when you're ready to settle in, let the head just gently drop towards the right. Talked about withdrawing the senses and from the face as we do get into, as you move into that place. Start with a smile. And we'll soften the forehead, the eyes, any tension you're holding will just start to dissolve. Start with a sense of sight. And a sense of hearing. Draw it inwards. And a sense of smell. You soften your nose. You can imagine you're doing that. You're letting you feel it happening. All of them connected to the sense of taste and in the mouth. Softening the jaw, the tongue. Tongue directly connected to the throat, so let it drop. Cheeks. Withdrawing into your throat center itself. Let it soften. Let it drop into the heart space. Maybe you can release the heart space somehow, the shoulders. And then settling into the lake, the center of you. You can just imagine yourself sitting beside and just watching the breath gently ripple the waters of the lake. feeling, you know, the part of you that's aimed towards the floor is the bottom of the lake. It's just going to open to receive those waters. Gently start to come out just by turning the head all the way to the left. And then continuing this process of awakening, undoing the pose, going into your rest. Feel like here, I'm just going to pop that bolster down between hips and heels, and might even let the feet come to rest on the bolster. Oh, I'm going to do that. Put the heels on the floor and feet up the bolster. Just, you know, when we move our feet, we move the tailbone. You can feel that if you just move your feet, you know, the tailbone moves. So the heels on the floor, the feet lifting, the tail's going to get a little bit of lengthening there. Still resting my hands in that, you know, magnificence, your energetics, your aura, your strength. Okay. Little windshield wiper friends. Let's let the hands trace along the belly, sides of the waist. Just rocking those knees, releasing the back. Okay. All right, so stretch the legs out, and I'm going to put the bolster underneath the knees. So just use the feet to kind of walk it up and find where you can be here, and so that the knees are supported. And let the legs soften, hips soften. So we have this waterfall effect. The hip flexors are getting some space here. Okay, let's bring the left knee in. Let's hug it in. And we're just going to hang out here for 5 breaths. And you can even put your hands here. This is a fun thing. Maybe you put the hands not interlaced, but behind the thigh, like one right behind the knee and the other one, and then drop the leg and rock it in and out. You might even be able to find a place to rest, or if you know you put the hands on top of each other, if that's going to give you a little bit more, and play with that. So hopefully the knee and thigh connection holds the hands in. Softening any way you can. Holding the leg in isn't working for you, just set the foot on the bolster. Before we release, feel into the right. So we're holding the left leg in. Put your all powers of awareness into the back of your right knee. As if it wants to soften into the bolster. Notice if you can feel that, you might even notice the left hip is softening. Okay, and then we'll release and maybe put the foot on the bolster for a moment, and then extend the left leg. Hands on your diamond somewhere. And you'll notice, you know, the breath moving underneath your hands. And then we'll bring the right leg in and hold on top, or if you like that underneath, with the two hands separated, or maybe one on top of the other, and resting into whatever is occurring here, and softening all those powers of your senses, your eyes, your ears, your nose. And the mouth is not just the mouth, the inner cheeks, the jaw, and the tongue is muscle connected deep into your throat, softening, relaxing. Soften all the way down your throat, softening all the way down, my friends, until you are at the back of your left knee. Letting it relax deeply into the support here. Release that. Rest here with the hands somewhere on your soft center. Draw hard a few times, and start at you go back and forth, the base of the heart and up, all the way back through. You can color it in. Okay. So you move into Shavasana, and you could stay exactly like this. This feels great, great. You want to add your sandbag or whatever you like. I'm going to come up and I'm going to move the bolster into Shavasana 2. As little disturbance as possible. Everything you need. So you can put your hands any way you like. You want to rest them on your body. It's still accessible here, or even just, or even circle this whole area from bottom of the ribs between the hip bones to the pubic bone. There's a nice circle here as well. Sacred geometry, shapes within you. We're just going to rest here. Allow everything to become undone. Everything to feel supported. Your own powers of loving awareness. We practice gift. This opportunity here to rest, to nourish yourself. Definitely guiding your powers of awareness to the flow of your breath. So your breath begins to gently lengthen. Feel yourself renewing, releasing with each breath cycle. Continuing to stay here is how you'd like to end your practice. Beautiful. You're ready to gently awaken and start with the fingers, toes, wrists, and ankles. And then turning your head side to side a few times and shape the opposite. Extending your arms and legs. Make yourself so big, nice big stretch. Making yourself a little smaller. Bending your knees. Maybe hugging the knees in. Carefully rolling to your side and resting there for these 3 breaths. As much as you feel things are ready to come, there's also this pull to remain. So as you come up and your energy surrounding you, would take one hand to your heart, maybe the opposite hand you did at the beginning. Just tune into the sacred view of your heart. As you inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, bring your other hand here, bring the palms together. Seal this practice with one inhale. Breathe into your hands. Hold your breath. And then offer it to yourself. It's great. To each other, to each other's loved ones, and to the ancestors, and everybody who's sitting here with you. So, thank you. So much restful love, and you did get some core stuff. So drink lots. Enjoy your day. Love you. Thank you. Thank you.